everybody.
This is in the District Court of Greenwood County, Kansas, case entitled State of Kansas versus Curtis S. Dixon, case number 2023 CR 89. Curtis Dixon appears without a lawyer. Jill Gillette appears as Greenwood County Attorney. Ken Klossing appears on behalf of the Community Corrections Department. This matter comes before the court at this time for a scheduled hearing on a warrant to show cause alleging probation violation. Court's looking at the notes from the last hearing. Show cause hearing was set apparently before Judge Webster on today's date, and defendant represented to the court at that time as he was hiring an attorney. How come you don't have an attorney with you, Mr. Dixon?
I was having trouble coming up with the funds, Your Honor, and now he's on vacation.
Well, it's unacceptable for us to be sat here today for a probation review hearing and you not have counsel. It's just unacceptable in the view of the court. I hope this isn't just some stalling maneuver on your part, Mr. Dixon. We're going to go ahead and reset this hearing one time. I'm going to reset it to December the 26th. Mandy, I show 10 o'clock open. Do you?
Yes, Judge.
December 26th, 10 o'clock a.m. Mr. Dixon, you must again appear at the Greenwood County Courthouse in Ricke, Kansas, and no other location. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Mandy, who is the attorney set to represent a defendant at 11 o'clock that day?
Ambrose.
Ambrose. I'm going to appoint Chris Ambrose.
He had Mr. Pate before.
I'll appoint Chris Ambrose to represent Mr. Dixon. Now, Mr. Dixon, you can replace Mr. Ambrose with your own retained attorney prior to the hearing if you so desire. But again, the court wants an attorney with you the next time this matter is scheduled for court. You're facing an outright revocation of your probation here. This is a very serious matter. And I want you represented at the next hearing in this case. 10 o'clock a.m. on Thursday, December the 26th. All right, I want to make sure I understand the current set of circumstances here, Mr. Klossing, and I know that some of this paperwork is dated. Allegedly, according to the warrant to show cause allegations, he did his initial intake back in June and never reported again until Officer Stanfield wrote him up about 4 months later. Has he been reporting since September?
Since his last show cause, he has been in contact with me. He has reported in person and has contacted me by phone. But that was in October.
Is he set up for another appointment with you, Ken?
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Does he have another appointment scheduled with you right now?
I don't think we do right now. I think the next appointment was this court hearing.
All right. Do you wish to set some sort of appointment with him between now and December 26th?
Yeah, how about next Thursday at 10 o'clock and in Greenwood County at the courthouse?
Mr. Dixon, did you note that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you've got an appointment with the Community Corrections Officer for next Thursday at 10 o'clock a.m. And we're talking about a week from Thanksgiving. All right?
Yes.
Make sure you make that appointment, Mr. Dixon, and follow the directions of your ISO between now and the time of the December 26th hearing. Let me ask you, Mr. Dixon, who were you looking at retaining to represent you?
John Barrett.
All right.
Daughter.
Well, you, again, have every right to retain your own counsel and replace Mr. Ambrose. Otherwise, Mr. Ambrose is appointed to represent you at the next hearing, December the 26th at 10 o'clock. Mr. Lett, is there anything further that we need to address regarding Mr. Dixon at this time?
No, I was going to ask to have an attorney appointed even if he wasn't completely indigent so that he can reimburse that on the journal entry if necessary. But we had the same issue at the beginning of the case, and we had issues getting his PSI in this case.
All right, well, let's go forward from here. Mr. Dixon, make your appointments with Community Corrections. You'll have some sort of attorney representing you at the next hearing, December 26th at 10 o'clock, and then we'll address the allegations in the warrant to show cause. Mr. Clausing, do you need anything else from the court at this time?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Dixon, any questions about what we've done here today?
No, sir.
All right, Mr. Dixon, we'll see you December 26th at 10 o'clock. Court is in recess at this time. This meeting may be ended for all. This is in the District Court of Greenwood County, Kansas, case entitled State of Kansas versus Tiffany Tyann O'Brien, case number 23 CR 147. Richard Paw appears as defense counsel. Jill Gillette is prosecuting attorney. Tiffany O'Brien appears by separate Zoom from her lawyer. This matter comes before the court at this time for arraignment. Apparently, the matter came before the magistrate court on October the 25th. Defendant waived preliminary hearing. Arraignment set for today. Mr. Paw, does your client desire the charging document to be read to her?
No, Your Honor, we would acknowledge copy and receipt of the amended complaint, waive its formal reading, and pursuant to plea negotiations, Ms. O'Brien is going to enter a no contest plea to amended count 1, criminal trespass, a Class C misdemeanor. She will plead no contest to count 2, theft, a Class A non-person misdemeanor, and count 3 will be dismissed. The parties are going to recommend there's going to be $50 of restitution, joint and several, a 6-month underline on count 2, a 30-day underline on count 1. We'll leave it up to you, Judge, if it's going to be concurrent or consecutive. 12 months of reporting probation, and we would ask for Miss O'Brien now lives in Lyon County, and we would ask for a courtesy transfer to Lyon County, Judge.
Gillette, as Mr. Paw announced consistently with your understanding as to how this O'Brien case would be handled?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is the nature of the plea your client will be entering?
No contest, Judge.
All right, Ms. O'Brien, importantly, you've been on this meeting and you've heard your attorney's announcement. It would appear consistently with the state's agreement to amend count 1 from a felony charge to Class B misdemeanor criminal trespass. And then you'd be pleading to that, and then also the misdemeanor theft count in count 2, which is a Class A misdemeanor. Is that indeed your intention?
Yes, sir.
You understand that Class B misdemeanors are punishable by up to 6 months in the county jail and up to a $1,000 fine, or both?
Yes, sir.
You understand that Class A misdemeanors are punishable by up to 1 year in jail and up to a $2,500 fine, or both?
Yes, sir.
And it is your intention to enter no contest pleas and accept conviction to both of these misdemeanor charges?
Yes, sir.
What is the factual basis for the criminal trespass and the misdemeanor theft? As concisely as possible, Ms.
Your
Gillette.
Honor, on February 24th of 2023, individuals arrived at 308 Lincoln Street, Virgil, Kansas. One half of the block is the Virgil Co-op. The other half are extra buildings that are owned privately. One of those buildings was entered into. There was not permission from the owner, Kelly Sage, to enter into that building. There was a wooden crate removed from the building. The wooden crate had an approximate value of $50. It had unknown contents of the crate, but the neighbor, Jean Titus, was able to record the situation going on her iPad. It was caught on video. Another individual's vehicle was driven there by the other individual, and Ms. O'Brien was one of the individuals identified on the video to have entered the building with the individual that removed the crate, and the crate was loaded into the vehicle and taken.
Very well. All right, Ms. O'Brien,
Yes,
do
sir.
you now freely, knowingly, and voluntarily enter pleas of no contest and accept conviction for amended count 1, criminal trespass, a Class B misdemeanor, and Class A misdemeanor theft in count 2.
Yes, sir.
Very well. Court finds that this is a free and voluntary act on the defendant's part. She's been made aware of the possible penalties, and there's a factual basis supporting each one of these charges. Defendant now stands convicted pursuant to the court's acceptance of her no contest pleas to amended count 1, criminal trespass, a Class B misdemeanor, and count 2, theft, a Class A misdemeanor. We'll proceed to sentencing at this time. What are the state's formal recommendations?
Your Honor, the recommendations were as stated by Mr. Paul. I am recommending for the criminal trespass, it's a B misdemeanor. I'm recommending a 30-day underlying sentence. For the theft, it's a Class A. I'm recommending a 6-month underlying sentence. No objection to the 2 counts running concurrently. They're part of the same scheme and activity. The probation is recommended to be 12 months. I believe Ms. O'Brien's on supervision, maybe out of Lyon County currently. She will need to report here, and then the probation may be transferred either up to Lyon County if she's still living there, or retained here if her other supervision is going to be transferred here, whichever direction where she's living. There is a $50 restitution on the box that was removed. It's joint and several with several of the co-defendants. There being, I believe, 4 of them. Those, the box restitution being joint and several may have already been paid because a couple of the co-defendants have been on supervision for a while. Court cost, probation fee, booking fee. I don't know what Mr. Paw's fees are going to be. This did start as a felony, so we would have to get bids as well. And there's no KBI lab fee or anything like that.
Very well. Mr. Paul, your recommendations regarding an appropriate sentence?
Judge, I would mirror the recommendations as outlined by the state. The only thing I need to do is address attorney's fees. I have approximately $400 in attorney's fees on this with the bids app. Ms. O'Brien reports to me that she is unemployed, has been for a little while, but is actively looking for work. So, Judge, I would just leave those fees at your discretion.
Very well. Tiffany O'Brien, at this time, the court will address you personally, and I'll ask you if you have any statements that you wish to make in mitigation of punishment or anything further that you would like to present.
Okay.
Anything you want to say?
No, sir.
What kind of work have you done in the past?
Home health and CNA.
Okay, where do you currently live?
I live in Emporia.
Okay, Emporia is a big city with a lot of work opportunity.
Yep.
Okay, so what kind of work are you seeking in Emporia?
I'm seeking home health or factory.
All right, when home health workers make what kind of salary usually?
I'm not really sure. Probably $16 to $17 an hour.
Okay. If you're not working at this time, how are you supporting yourself currently?
I live in a sober living house, the Empire House, and I'm currently on drug court,
Okay, out of what county? Lyon?
Lyon County.
Okay, all right. Thank you for the information.
You're welcome.
In the matter of State of Kansas versus Tiffany O'Brien, the court will impose sentence at this time. For the conviction of criminal trespass, a Class B misdemeanor in amended count 1, the court imposes 30 days in the Greenwood County Jail. Court imposes no fine. Regarding count 2, theft, a Class A misdemeanor, court imposes 6 months in the Greenwood County Jail. The court will run that time consecutively to the time imposed on count 1 for an overall controlling jail sentence of 7 months in the Greenwood County Jail. Court will grant the defendant 12 months reporting probation to be supervised by Greenwood County Court Services until it can be transferred. Court does support transfer to the defendant's actual county of residence. We want to try to set her up to succeed. Court will be assessing a misdemeanor docket fee, misdemeanor probation fee, order the defendant to pay $50 in restitution to the victim in this case, Kelly Sage. joint and several with other co-defendants. Court will find at this case that when Tiffany is employed as a home health care worker, as she's apparently qualified to do, she should be able to earn enough money that to pay a bid's application fee of $100 and $250 in legal fees. Any remainder is waived. Court determines that if paid out overtime over the course of her probation, that shouldn't work a burden or hardship on her or any family members.
And 100 bids and 250 attorney.
That's what the court announced. All right, Ms. O'Brien, we need to establish a minimum payment that you're going to start making.
Right.
We're here at the end of November. I'm inclined not to require a payment in December, but starting January, we need to establish an amount that you're going to start paying. What do you think you're going to be able to do?
Maybe 50 a month.
I think that's fair.
Okay.
Court will order a minimum of $50 a month, starting with January of 2025 and every subsequent month until the case is paid in full. Court does want the victim restitution to be paid first. You need to make your best efforts to get this case paid off, Ms.
I
O'Brien.
will, sir.
You need to make this right.
I will.
Further, you're going to have the obligation of contacting Greenwood County Court Services immediately after this hearing.
Okay.
I'll give you a number to call. Actually, I don't have that number currently before me. Ms. Gillette, do you?
316-322-4153, and they will assign her the CSO.
Okay.
That's actually the Butler County Court Services office, Ms. O'Brien. They can get you to where you need to go. So
Okay.
just call that number and get set up with your probation program till it can be transferred administratively to Lyon County or whatever your county of residence ends up being.
Okay.
You need to stay out of trouble.
I will.
All standard conditions, Ms. O'Brien.
I will, sir.
Okay. Mr. Gillette, is there anything further we need to address regarding Tiffany O'Brien at this time?
I don't think so, Your Honor.
Mr. Paw, are you aware of anything further?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right. Ms. O'Brien, do you have any questions about the court sentencing orders?
No, sir, I do not.
Call that court services office number as soon as you get off the meeting, Ms. O'Brien. Good luck.
Okay.
I hope you're successful on this
Thank you.
probation program.
I will be.
All right.
Thank you.
Nothing further. The O'Brien matter is in recess, and this meeting may be ended for all.
Be safe, be well, sleep sweet, and much love.